if you can go up to and including the 16th, how many shots at launch do you really get? Could you talk about turnaround and how you'll play all this?
Yeah, we get our going-in plan has 4 attempts in 5 days. That's our standard plan. And as we briefed last Friday, we've told the program that if we're still on the pad on the 12th, we will entertain going 3 in a row if that's advantageous to them. You have to weigh that against the weather on day 3. You have to weigh that against if we do 3 in a row and scrub on that 3rd attempt, it takes us 4 more days to get back on the range, and that will essentially wipe out the rest of the opportunities before the cutout. And so there's sort of a shell game there that you want to play to maximize your attempts. So we have plenty of flexibility. I think we would probably get 4 attempts probably in those 5 days is the way I would think it would play out. But again, it depends on what causes a scrub. It depends on Kathy's weather forecast for subsequent days, and probably another half a dozen factors go into that decision.
6 days, if you count 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So you think you get 4 out of 6?
Probably,
Probably
yeah.
4 out of 6 at best. And I have to ask you, Mike Moses, how long did your meeting last? What time did it start and when did you break up?
Let's see, I think we wrapped up in about 50 minutes today. Yeah. And that included a lot of me pausing to make sure no one had any questions.
Bill?
Bill Horowitz, CBS. Baby can't answer that in this forum, but when are you guys going to make a decision on dual pad ops and Ares 1X?
Let's see, we've been basically doing what we can to preserve both options as long as we can. Two things there you're looking for. One is either the Ares has an issue that says that they can't make their launch date anymore, so that tells us there's no reason to go to the effort it takes us to do single pad. The other would be that at some point you have to just make that decision point. We kind of identified April 1st as the target there, and that's mostly the time you'd have to start doing Pad B modifications to be ready for Ares launch on July 11th. And so April 1st, there's a couple days margin in there. So our plan is basically to get this vehicle in orbit, and then we'll sit down and talk. We'll get a status check of the schedules with Ares, and then we'll try to come to a decision as an agency.
Okay, thanks. And for Kathy, just for the record, I know long range down here doesn't mean much in Florida, but since we're talking 5 attempts in 6 days, what's it looking like past Friday's 80% go, right? And what's it looking like past Friday?
Right, it looks good, and then what ends up happening past Friday is a front does start to come down into the area, but it looks like the models have actually slowed down. Originally it was looking like it was going to come in on Saturday, but now it's starting to look a little bit more like a delay, and so it looks like it would be, another day or so. So somewhere basically Sunday or beyond, there is another front that's going to be coming, and then a real strong upper level trough wants to dig in next week and bring in some cooler temperatures too. So certainly the weather is more favorable this week, and then we have some issues, and we'll have to work around it when that next front comes into the area, and then the subsequent winds that come behind it. Todd?
Todd Halverson of Florida Today for Mike Leinbach. Mike, 10 missions before the end of the program, and you're looking at a flight rate that you wouldn't have had since before Columbia in order to accomplish that. I'm wondering if you can talk to the challenges you anticipate in flying out the manifest in the time you have to fly it out.
Yeah, there are a lot of aspects to that question, but I'll just address the local workforce here at KSC. Recall last summer we were processing 2 vehicles in parallel for the Hubble mission and its rescue, and we're doing that same thing again now for the Hubble launch and its potential rescue situation. So we can process in parallel, and we're proving we can do that. And then after that mission gets behind us, after the Hubble mission, then the flights are pretty well evenly spaced throughout the rest of the manifest, and that's good for us. So it's a good workload for us. I think we can absolutely pull it off. The thing you don't like in a manifest if you're flying multiple times is too many missions too close together, because that makes it a little bit more difficult to borrow technician and engineering workforce from the other vehicle. But this one, after Hubble, again, it's pretty evenly spaced, and the team feels good about flying out.
And just a quick follow-up. How difficult will it be for you guys to kind of shoehorn Ares 1X in there somewhere, and how does your team perhaps play a role in getting that mission off the ground?
Well, we help stack the vehicle, of course, and you've noticed out on Pad B there's been quite a lot of work already done for the Constellation program out at Pad B. The 3 Lightning towers are up. In fact, last week we took down our Lightning mast, the shuttle Lightning mast, off the top of the tower. So we're working in modifications to the pad and to the VAB as we can, and a lot of that includes our people. Shoehorning in, we like to say we find a good home for them, and we will do that. We owe it to them and to the agency to get them off when they're ready to go. Don't ask me when they're going to be ready to go, because I frankly don't know. My concentration is 100% shuttle, and so I know they're meeting probably later this week to talk about their launch date capability, and see where that fits in with us. But you know, once the Hubble mission is beyond us and no rescue required, we're going to give them Pad B, and they can have at it.
And I'd just follow up with a couple things from the program standpoint. Having the same team work in 1X as work in shuttle actually has some benefits to it. It really gives a tie to the future for that workforce to show them what they're going to be doing in the future. And so there's a lot of enthusiasm within the team. We actually talked a little bit about some potential things pulling some of those folks back, and the actual workforce was not happy with that. They wanted to keep doing that work because they enjoy seeing what the future program is going to look like. And then the same thing with the launch rate we're going to have. This team down here has been amazing, and they work best when they're flying. And so getting back to that regular pace like Mike was talking about, where you're just doing a nice steady pace, that's actually the best time, and we become our most efficient when we're doing that kind of processing.
Are there any other questions? Marcia with a follow-up.
I wanted to ask the Japanese representative, how many Japanese are here for the launch? Do you have an estimate?
Oh, including our guests, about 200 person.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Right over here in the front.
My name is Yoshitami from Mainichi Newspapers. I also have a question to Mr. Suraki. Have you talked with Mr. Wakata after his arrival?
Oh, I just arrived last night, so I didn't talk with him.
So will you?
Oh, this evening, there is a last opportunity. Our president will meet him at the quarantine, so only limited person is access to him this evening.
Any further questions? That concludes our STS-119 pre-launch news conference. Please join us tomorrow for the L-1 countdown status briefing at 10 a.m. Eastern. For more information on the STS-119 mission and its crew, visit www.nasa.gov/shuttle. Thank you.